You're most definitely welcome to yet another tutorial. And in this tutorial, we are going to talk about the almighty JavaScript. That is the language all of you have been longing to learn, alright? And so we're going to do that today. We're going to learn JavaScript. But in today's tutorial, we are going to talk about introduction. We are going to introduce you to JavaScript. Alright, so this tutorial is going to teach you all you need to know to get yourself started to learning JavaScript. Alright, okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So, in this tutorial, I assume you know the following listed here. Now, this guide assumes you have the following basic background. 1. You have a general understanding of the internet and the World Wide Web. That's www. Now, you should also have a good understanding and or working knowledge of the hypertext markup language. That is why we treated HTML with you guys. So you should have a fair knowledge of the basics when it comes to HTML before you can understand and work with JavaScript. Before you can understand the inner workings of JavaScript, you need to really get yourself acquainted with the hypertext markup language. It's a must, honestly speaking. So if you don't have a general knowledge when it comes to HTML, you should do that right now. You should go check my videos on HTML and CSS before you get right into this very video. Alright. Also, you should have some programming experience. Yeah, not necessarily like be an adept programmer, but you should know what programming is about. Alright, you should know that we program to solve problems. When there is a problem and it needs an urgent solution, programming is there to really help in that regard. So you should have these knowledge. Alright, and also you should try one of the tutorials. Yeah, of course, as I said earlier, you should if you have no knowledge of HTML and CSS, you should, as a matter of fact, check my videos on HTML and CSS and really grasp the basic understanding of it before you get started with this very tutorial. So without further ado, let's continue. Okay, so what is JavaScript? What at all is JavaScript? Now, JavaScript is a cross-platform, object-oriented scripting language used to make web pages interactive. So JavaScript is a cross-platform, object-oriented scripting language. It's a scripting language. So if you know nothing at all of JavaScript, you should put it at the back of your mind that JavaScript is an object-oriented cross-platform scripting language used to make web pages interactive. Alright. Example, when you have complex animations, clickable buttons, pop-up menus. So if you've ever visited a web page where you've seen complex animations on the web page, you've seen clickable buttons which are clickable. You've seen contents pop up, on and off, just like that. Alright, so all these are done with the help of JavaScript. Alright, okay. So there are also more advanced server-side versions of JavaScript, such as the Node.js, which of course allow you to add more functionality to a website than simply downloading files, and also inside of a host environment, JavaScript can be connected to the objects of its environment to provide programmatic control over them. Alright, so when we have say, a host environment, JavaScript does a great job of connecting the objects of its environment to provide programmatic control over them. Now, when we talk of JavaScript, JavaScript contains a standard library of objects, such as the array, the date, the math, and a core set of language elements such as operators, control structures, and statements. Now, moreover, core JavaScript can be extended for a variety of purposes by supplementing it with additional objects. For example, client-side JavaScript extends the core language by supplying objects to control the browser and its document objects model. That's the DOM. Have you ever heard DOM? Alright, if you've never heard DOM, go check it out. Go look it up online. So for example, the client-side extensions allow an application to place elements on an HTML form and respond to user events such as mouse clicks, form input, and page navigation. That's for the client-side JavaScript. Now let's have a look at the server-side JavaScript. When we talk about server-side JavaScript, we talk about JavaScript, a side of JavaScript that extends the core language by supplying objects relevant to running JavaScript on a server. Alright, so here it supplies objects which are relevant to running JavaScript on a server. Alright, so you should know the difference between a client-side JavaScript and a server-side JavaScript. Okay, now we're defining what JavaScript is, and so you should put all these tidbits at the back of your mind, because it would just help you understand JavaScript in a broader perspective. Alright, so there are a couple of problems or challenges that beginners face when it comes to JavaScript. They tend to. Okay, so have you ever heard of this language, Java? If you've never heard of it, just go look it up online. Now, most beginners find it difficult to differentiate between JavaScript and Java, because their names, Java, JavaScript. When you really pay attention to the names, you would think that they should have something in common. But honestly speaking, JavaScript and Java as a language have absolutely nothing in common. Both languages have absolutely nothing in common. JavaScript is a separate language on its own, whereas Java also is a separate language on its own. So you should know that. Now let's have a look at some differences between JavaScript and Java. Now JavaScript and Java are similar, alright, in some ways, but fundamentally different in some others. Now, the JavaScript language resembles Java, but does not really have the Java static type and a strong type checking. Alright. Now, JavaScript follows most Java expression syntax, naming conventions, and basic control flow constructs, which was the reason why it was renamed from LiveScript to JavaScript. So initially the name of JavaScript was LiveScript, and eventually it was renamed to JavaScript. And so when somebody asks you that initially what was the name of JavaScript, you should be able to say that it was initially called the LiveScript, but now it's no more called that, but rather JavaScript. Now, in contrast to Java's compile time system of classes built by declarations, JavaScript supports a runtime system based on a small number of data types. Alright, I know all these sound, all these all these that I've said sound really complex in your ears and unpleasant as well, but honestly, these are just introduction, and so you should know them, but you shouldn't necessarily understand them. You should know, you should have a a little knowledge when it comes to what the language JavaScript is about, which is why it's necessary that I do this very tutorial to describe or to give you a brief introduction of what JavaScript entails. Alright. So still on the object oriented, still on the comparisons between JavaScript and Java. JavaScript is object oriented, alright, whereas Java is class based. Now, there is no distinction between types of objects when it comes to JavaScript, and also inheritance is through the prototype mechanism, and properties and methods can't be added to any object dynamically. That is when it comes to JavaScript. Now, let's quickly have a look at that of Java. Alright, when we talk about Java, as I said early on, we talk about it's being a class-based language. Alright, so JavaScript is object oriented, whereas Java is class based. Alright, so again, in Java, objects are divided into classes and instances with all inheritance through with all inheritance through the class hierarchy or hierarchy. Now, classes are instances, and instances cannot have properties or methods added dynamically. Alright, so in JavaScript, instances can be added to any object dynamically, whereas in Java, instances cannot be added to objects dynamically. So you should also know this very difference. Now, let's have a look at the final difference. Although there are tons of differences when it comes to JavaScript and Java, but let's have a look at the final difference. When we talk about JavaScript, we also talk about the fact that JavaScript cannot automatically write to hard disk. So JavaScript cannot automatically write to hard disk, whereas in Java it can automatically write to the hard disk. Now there are tons of differences, so your job here is or your assignment here is to go look them up online and find more differences between the Java as a language and JavaScript as a scripting language as well. Okay. So now let's talk about getting started with JavaScript. So, when we talk about getting started with JavaScript, we talk about the fact that, when as a beginner wanting to master JavaScript, when you start as a beginner, honestly speaking, you're going to find some challenges, but trust me, you should make up your mind that you're ready to study JavaScript. It's one of the most interesting languages for web-based developers. Trust me, if you want to be a web developer, you need to get JavaScript fundamentals. You need to get the basics when it comes to JavaScript. That's if you want to learn web development, you should really get yourself acquainted with JavaScript basics. Alright, but as a beginner, it's going to look a bit complicated to you, but honestly, don't give up. You should be ready to knuckle down. You should be ready to give her away. You should be ready to pull up yourself by your bootstraps. Trust me. Alright. Now, JavaScript is pretty much easy when you're getting started as a beginner. Sorry, not when you're getting started as a beginner. When, like, JavaScript, in a broader perspective, is a is one of the easiest languages. Trust me. All you need is a modern web browser to get yourself started when it comes to JavaScript. And so, starting JavaScript, you need a web browser. You need, say, Chrome or Firefox to get yourself started. Now, these are the two browsers I'd recommend for you. Trust me. You need to get Chrome, Google Chrome, or Firefox. So these two are the web browsers I'd recommend for you. Okay. So let's create our first JavaScript program. Now, a program that pops a message on our screen. So we're going to create a program that pops "Hello World" on our screen. So that's basically what we're going to do. That's basically the language we're going to create. Alright. So first of all, click, or no, don't click. First of all, open your browser. So open your browser. It could be either Chrome or Firefox. So you can choose to use Chrome as your browser or Firefox. Okay, so I choose to use Chrome. So I'll go ahead and open Chrome. Alright. So I haven't opened Chrome. Press Control Shift I. So press Control plus Shift plus I to open your console. Now we're going to do all that coding inside of the console of our web browser. Alright. Okay. So let me press my Control Shift I. Alright, so go off for now. Alright, so this is our console. Alright, so there's console here. Okay. So let's write our first JavaScript program, which pops up "Hello World" on our screen. Okay, so that is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna say alert hello world. So we have here "Hello World" on our screen. Hello World on our screen. Mind you, we haven't started the actual programming yet. But this is just an introduction to just let you know of one of or some of the most dynamic stuff or some of the things that JavaScript can do. So JavaScript can manipulate the web page and do whatever it is that it asks the web page to do. Alright. Okay. So now we have printed the "Hello World" on web page. So alert hi, I'm not well, but rather rather a little under the weather. Okay, so it pops up the message here. Hi, I am not well, but rather a little under the weather. Alright, so basically this is our first language when it comes to JavaScript. This is our first program, sorry. Alright, so I think that we're done for today. So let me do a recap of all that we've studied today. Probably not all, but honestly just a few tidbits just to get you jacked up. So to get started with JavaScript, you need to really be familiar with HTML. It's a necessity, honestly. That's why we treated it in the previous tutorials. If you have not really acquainted yourself with HTML, I encourage you to go to the previous tutorials that we did with regards to HTML and and familiarize yourself with the language. After which, if you want to jump straight into JavaScript, you can do so. But to be able to understand JavaScript and use it on a web page, alright, you need to get yourself acquainted with HTML. And a bit of CSS just to add beauty to your web page as well. So you need to grasp the general concepts when it comes to HTML as well as JavaScript. Okay. Alright, so and also you need your web browser. It could be Chrome, Google Chrome, or Firefox. Now, if you don't have Google Chrome or Firefox on your laptop, you can go online and download them. You can just what is this? You can just go online, search, download Google Chrome, and just download Google Chrome. Just click the download button. Watch this. When you click it, it starts to download. Alright, so that's JavaScript. It provides you with a clickable function. Alright, and so when you click this, something happens. That's done by JavaScript. Alright, okay, so you just have to click that button and straight away it will download the file for you. Alright, if you also want to download Firefox, just type download Firefox and click. So just click the button, download now, and you're good to go. So it should download the file for you. So after that, go ahead and click on the file downloaded and run it. I have already downloaded it, so I don't need to just do these extra works, but honestly you have to do that yourself. So yes, and follow the instructions that follow. Okay, so here it talks about me updating. Let me quickly update mine. But probably yours is not going to be like that. Yours is going to ask you to further download it. Alright, so just follow the instructions and you'll be good to go. Okay. So what says the time? 3:15 a.m. Dude, I must sleep. I have to cut some Z's. Extremely tired. Alright, guys, so what sort of animal is that? What kind of animal is that? Alright, guys, so this brings us to the end of the introduction to JavaScript. Now, in the next tutorial, we're going to dive straight into probably variables or numbers or any other, I'll just keep you posted when I'm about to upload the next tutorial. So guys, thank you very much, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be the first person to have access to new videos, and also to help us grow and be able to produce more and more videos for you in future. So we need you to subscribe to our channel, and also follow us on social media, either Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Yes. So thank you very much. I'm out.